Matthew Golden is one of the most explosive athletes I have seen come out of college in the last few years. With long speed that comes straight from a track background, matched up with an incredible route running ability, this could be one of the top wide receivers in this draft class. But there are some deficiencies to his game, and I wonder whether or not the wide receiver class could mean that he drops a little bit down the board, or could he still go in round one and find himself a home in a great offense that can utilize his skill set. If you enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing, but let's dig a little deeper into one of the most explosive receivers in this class. I'll start off this video with a little bit of an admission. I loved watching Matthew Golden. He is exactly the type of receiver that I love to scout. Someone with athletic tools, but that doesn't rely on them to win. But let's start off with the athletic gifts. This is an X-track athlete in college who ran a 10.93 100 meters. So that track speed absolutely shows on the field. But the thing I was more impressed by than just the pure long speed is his ability to accelerate incredibly quickly into top gear, but then also decelerate out of this to create separation at the top of a route. This means that he can create separation both off the line, but also at the catch point. And this is something I was incredibly impressed by. This isn't something you see from all deep threat wide receivers, as they're just able to get into their top gear, but unable to stay out of it and decelerate, slow down, and be able to create separation that way. So I was very impressed to see this. The other thing is that after a few years at Houston, he transferred to Texas, where he expanded his route tree beyond purely vertical routes. This was something I was really happy to see from Golden. We want to see athletes and receivers that can win at all three levels of the field. And so I was really glad to see him be able to incorporate some more short and intermediate routes into his game, rather than strictly goes and digs to allow him to separate deep down the field. He is able to win at all three levels. The other thing, and this is something that I mentioned earlier on in terms of the end of the route, but I think Golden has a fantastic understanding of tempo and how to then slow down and switch up his speeds in his routes, meaning that he can accelerate into breaks or decelerate out of them to just throw off a defender and create an extra meter of separation, which is something that's going to help him so much at the next level. The other thing is that he is equally explosive before and after the catch. Sometimes this can lead to some issues, as I'll get onto in a second, but this ability to get straight into top gear after securing the football is something that's going to help him so much in the league and a truly attractive quality to NFL teams. This is someone that can take a slant route all the way to the house. So it's not just that he can take the top off a defense by running a go, but he can take something short, something which is an easy first down, and end up with a 60-yard touchdown off of it. However, just because I loved scouting him doesn't mean that I didn't also spot some weaknesses in his game. The first one is something that I hinted at earlier on, which is concentration drops. I think you can clearly spot some moments where he's already starting to think what he's trying to do to get yards after the catch and doesn't then actually focus on catching the ball. This is a consistent thing that you'll see from rookie wide receivers and something that hopefully he's able to correct when he gets to the next level. The other thing is a quite significant injury history throughout college. Now, he did manage to get healthy by his final season, but this is something that some teams will have as a red flag on his draft profile. The other 2 points are kind of the same thing. I think this is someone that would benefit from adding a bit more bulk to his frame, just to give him a bit more strength to be able to get off physical corners, as sometimes he can rely way too much on his speed to get off the line and lacking physicality. I think some functional play strength would really help Golden to become an all-rounded wide receiver and someone that can not just currently win with speed and route running, but also with physicality during the route. For a playstyle comparison, I've gone with Chris Olave. And obviously Olave's had a couple of down seasons with injury and just the struggling with how bad the offense has been. But think how good he was in his rookie season. This is someone that can win with long speed down the field and be a huge touchdown threat anytime the ball is thrown. But also someone with the route running chops to be able to get open at all three levels. I saw a lot of Olave in his game, and I think similarly, Golden could profile as a top 10 dynasty wide receiver by the end of his rookie season. In terms of his projected draft value, he's currently the consensus wide receiver 4 in the class, or wide receiver 5. It's kind of a bit of a toss up between him and Trey Harris. If he can get late first draft capital, this will be huge for his future in the league and mean that he ends up going to one of the playoff teams picking towards the end of the first round. And we know how needy some of them are for wide receivers. Teams like the Bills, teams like the Commanders, teams like the Chiefs. He would be fantastic if he found his way to one of those offenses. Then, in terms of projected rookie draft value, now this is quite difficult because a lot of different managers are going to have different rankings on the wide receiver class. I think he could go as early as the 104, depending on your thoughts on the running backs, and if you'd rather wait for another running back, and if you think wide receiver is shallower. But he could go all the way towards the back of the first round, just depending on your thoughts on how it stacks up. Superflex, relatively similar. It just depends on how you rank the quarterbacks compared to the positional players. Let me know your thoughts on Golden down below in the comments. How does he stack up against the other wide receivers in this class? Please consider liking and subscribing to support the growth of the channel, and also check out all of the other rookie content available on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.